Over to you, John.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another fine episode of the Iron and Ceramite podcast. I'm joined as always by Shane. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
And Glenn. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. So we was just going through what we had to talk about. Where do you want to start, Shane? We've got a few bits to cover.
I think because it's been a few weeks since we were in together, and I've kind of lost in the flurry of activity.
Yep.
I've lost track of Glenn's hobby update.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think we start there.
Absolutely. Over to you, Glenn. Tell us all the hard work you've been up to.
Well, I've been absent for a couple of weeks. I was away on a bit of a honeymoon. We were in Sherwood, which was not too far from Nottingham. So I took a little trip to Warhammer World. Spent a long time walking around there. The wife said I could buy whatever I want.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And because I have not planned an army or knew exactly what I needed, I bought her a plush Nurgling. And that is all I bought at Warhammer World.
A plush Nurgling. Very good.
Yes. But in fairness, he does a handstand and he has boils on his ass cheeks. So he's quite an interesting Nurgling. But yeah, a Nurgling nonetheless. That is the sum total of my my hobby.
Okay.
But I did get a chance to catch up with one of my old managers who's now in charge of the digital store.
Oh, nice.
So
Nice.
yeah, but in true higher up Games Workshop staff member, he would not tell me anything. He would not even tell me where the assassin was hiding in the massive display. I spent a good long time looking for it, as did the wife, and we did not find him. Apparently, he's been hidden since early May this time, so he must be very well hidden. But
okay.
yeah, they've updated some of the displays since the last time I was up. It's definitely worth the £8 to go and have a wander around.
Yes. Yeah. I did it. Was it a couple of years ago? Yep. Loved it. Was very, very, very impressed by it all.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
I took the whole family around there last summer.
Yeah, the missus was, because she's recently started reading Lord of the Rings, and she occasionally drops a message whenever she's at work going, "Who the hell is this? What's this? This is different." So she was obsessed with finding the Tom Bombadil model that they do, because she had no idea who the hell Tom Bombadil was. And he is in the collection upstairs, and she was like, "Oh, there he is! That's him!" So yeah, she got very excited about Tom Bombadil and Fatty Lumpkin, the pony. And Bill the pony. So yes.
They don't have a Goldenberry model, do they?
Yes, they do.
They do?
Yeah.
Right.
They sell Tom and Goldberry together.
Yeah.
That's just that's a lot more money that I don't have for a collection that I would love.
Fact.
Just about.
The light. Hang on. The off light.
We can see the outlines.
Yeah, that's sort of them.
Yeah.
That is the picture that the missus took of the two models that you knew actually what they were.
Did you go into what's it called? Is it Bugman's?
Yeah, I went to Bugman's.
Very nice.
Food was had. It was good.
Very good. Very good.
Yes.
Yeah, I concur. Very, very much definitely worth a day out.
So then you've returned from Warhammer World, inspired, and what have you done hobby-wise, Glenn? What have you done?
I have thought about some more stuff.
Have you got it? Well, as I said, not knowing what you needed, have you now got closer to maybe constructing said army, or maybe even putting a list together?
No. I'm still basing the list on what I have. I almost bought another box of Grey Knight Terminators just to bulk out an existing squad, but I was like, until I'll want to get it built, I should get it built at least to get some games in, to get an idea of what I need and where I need to go with it.
Yeah,
because like I've looked at a few lists online, and yeah, seems to be a lot more Terminator heavy than I'm running or what I plan to run, but my style may suit what I like the idea of running. So I'll get the stuff built eventually and then just see what tweaks I might want to make to the Grey Knights. I don't really want to add a lot more to the Grey Knights. It's just whatever I have pretty much. And
Yeah.
then see what I can start doing with the Space Marines.
If we were Lord of the Rings characters, Glenn, you would be Treebeard. Very knowledgeable, but very, very slow.
Yeah. I don't even think I'm very knowledgeable anymore. My knowledge is quite outdated. I quite like Treebeard as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good, I think that's definitely worth taking. I think Treebeard's not bad.
Yeah.
And obviously Shane was rattling on by himself last week.
Rattling
We've
indeed.
got
Yeah.
a
What
bone
have you
to
been up
pick.
to?
We have a bone to pick with him, really, because this Year of the Wolf nonsense.
Well, we've got to pick. Yeah, we can talk about that because that's my hobby update really.
Yeah.
The start of the year, obviously, I said to myself, right, I'm gonna get get these Space Wolves ready and painted, and I set myself a target of getting 10 units done and dusted, and I'm currently sitting at 2 done and dusted, and they're not even Space Wolves. They're oh no, one of them's Logan Grimnar, so that's definitely a Space Wolf. That's
Yeah.
fine. And then the other one was the uh not Inceptors, the Infiltrators, which is John's favorite Space Marine unit
Yeah.
that give out the 12-inch aura. And that's it. And then I'm currently, I would say, 70% done the jump pack intercessors. And then when I was looking at my list, realizing that we've got 2 weeks, I think it is, to just under 2 weeks to our first 11th edition tournament. And then maybe 6 weeks after that, maybe 2 months, the London Grand Tournament after that. Looking at what I'd still need to paint on my Space Wolves list, I just started. I think the realization dawned on me that I probably wouldn't have it ready in time. London, like the LGT, might still happen, so I'm not ruling that one out. So then I was like, right, maybe I've been a bit too ambitious. If we're going to the tournament in a couple of weeks, I'm going to have to run something that I do have that's fully painted. That being Thousand Suns, which I've got enough of that I can run a decent list, and so I've got to start getting some reps in with it. And that means Year of the Wolf has now transitioned into Year of Painting the Wolves. And but like I'll still play them, but for this July tournament, unfortunately, it's come too soon, and I haven't been able to apply myself well enough to get enough
Almost like
models
it's
painted.
come 7 months into the year. Same as
I know.
it was at the start of the year.
Yeah,
To be fair, I was saying, I was like, yeah, I got to do 2,000 points this year. Like 2,000 points is not much. It's Grey Knights in the Elite Army, 2,000 points is fine. So you're still 2 units up on what I'm doing.
yeah, that's fair enough, fair enough. But as I said, it's yeah, I've built a lot of stuff and I've sprayed a lot of stuff, but I haven't painted any of it. So that's on me.
You're a swindle and a cheat.
Yeah, and so the Thousand Suns came out for their first time this year and first time in 11th edition, and that was on Thursday, or was it? It was Friday. It was Friday, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It's Friday night. Again on streamed live on TikTok for those that follow John. So you can always go there and watch. What was it? Our last 3 or 4, I think you've put on TikTok now.
Since we've been in the shed, I think we've been live every time. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we must have done 6 games, 5 or 6 games now.
Yeah. So obviously, if you're following along there, you'll be able to see the streams of the games. And to be fair, like segues nicely from deciding to run some Thousand Suns into that battle, and I think it was a tough. Well, I say tough old game. It was definitely a game that required a lot of concentration.
Yeah, it was tricky, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think that was one of the bits I was going to like segue onto, I think, because that was the first time where I had, because of the disposition of the Thousand Sons, they had, what was it called? Priority assets. That was it,
Yeah.
priority assets. So that's the first time I think, because up until then we've played Taken Hold, Purge the Foe, and is it Disruption? Your one, John? Yeah,
Yeah.
Disruption. And that's it. So this was the first time we had priority assets come in, and that added a whole different primary objective that took a lot of thinking about. Like we had to read the actual objective about 4 times before we even started the battle to work out what we were trying to do.
And what were you trying to do?
So my one, we were both trying to do an action called sensor sweep. I can't remember the name, what the names of our actual objectives were, but
mine was locate and deny, and yours was extract relic.
There we go. And so what happened is the disruption player, which was John, puts down 5 markers. So not objectives, they're just markers. 5 markers on pieces of area terrain. They can be any terrain pieces on the battlefield. And then during each turn, if you control the central objective, you can perform the sensor sweep action. And if you successfully perform that action, you're then allowed to remove one of those like markers, because effectively you've performed a blip, like radar sensor sweep or whatever. You've identified that one of them's not the actual marker that you're after, and you remove it from the battlefield. And then so you score points for doing that, or sorry, I scored points for doing that action. John doesn't score points for doing that action, but still needs to do the action because then it denies me from doing it. So effectively, I score points by doing it. John denies me points by doing it. And then you also then get points for killing units on objectives, I think.
Okay.
So
it is as complicated as it sounds.
and then where it gets even better, then once you're down to just 1 marker, you then can't do that action anymore. So once you've removed 4 of them, you've only got 1 left, which I assumed in this case is the relic I've got to extract and the thing that John has to locate and deny, whatever that is. So that's then left. If then at the last turn you're within range of that marker and there aren't any enemy units around it, you score like a bonus. I think it was 9. Yeah, it was 5 and 4 because you get end of the turn and then end of the battle. So you get like 9 VP for that at the end of the game. So it can be a bit swingy.
Right.
There's lots and lots to think about.
Yeah.
And that swinginess is what sold it, because I think it was by 1 point, was it, John, or 2 points?
78 to 79 to you.
There we go. Yeah. So it was very close, and it came down to that last turn.
Yeah.
Not only me being able to pick up a number of secondaries, but then also being able to hold on to that last bit of terrain and not have any of John's units anywhere near it. And that's only because the turn before I'd managed to do the sensor sweep and remove the marker from the central objective, which meant that the one that had the marker on it for the last turn was right down in my territory in like the corner of the board. So John couldn't get anywhere near it.
Who decides which marker gets taken off? Is it whoever's doing the action?
Yeah.
Whoever successfully does the action.
So you do an action and you go, well, I'm not likely to go over that way. I'll take that one away, so I don't have to worry about that end of the board, right?
And
okay.
that's how it kind of went. Is like I think I did the action first and took the one that was furthest away from me away, and then John did it. You did it a couple of times.
I did it. Then I did it twice, I think, because I took because you took my expansion away.
Yeah.
Then I took one where there was my Death Shroud were, because I was like, well, I don't want you to try and kill them and score those points. Then I did it again and took away one where there was just, it was near, it was between the expansion and my home.
Yeah.
I took that away because there was nothing there. So in my head, I was like, well, there's nothing to kill there. And then unfortunately, my 6 Terminators and Morty all basically died. And then I thought, in my head, I was like, well, we're fighting over the center. So the last one naturally is going to be the center. Shane performed the action, bamboozled me, and took the center away. I was just like,
I don't care about the
absolutely
center.
stranded. And I said at the time, it wasn't until he did that where the actual strategy and the cards suddenly made sense, because I was like, oh yeah, just take that away. And then he did that, and I went, fuck, there's an end game here, and I did not see it. And there was no way I was going to get a Demon Prince and a couple of Poxwalkers that far up the board, especially as I was desperately holding the middle.
Yeah. So it was it was definitely a lot to think about. And what I also noticed, like this edition, there are turns where you score a lot in turns. And I was looking at the scorecards for our game, and I think for both of us, I think in the last 2 turns you scored 40 victory points, and in my last 2 turns I scored 41 victory points or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so swingy in that regard, that because you can now hold on to your secondaries and score them all at once up to 15, you could in theory have a turn wherever you like, you're scoring 30 points in a turn. So it is a big sort of catch up mechanic. And up until that point, we'd been fairly even. And then suddenly in the last 2 turns, we both scored like 40 points each.
Yeah, we just jumped, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because I was just having a look. Your last turn, you scored 26 points.
Yeah. That's like four off of what I maxing out a turn.
Yeah.
And I could have probably got that full 30, depending on how much central ground got me, because if I'd managed to kill that Poxwalker, I would have then also had the central ground one as well. So it was it was definitely more thinking about than you're normally used to with Take and Hold or Purge. And then I was having a look at what was I doing? I was having a look at what we're going to play next, because we're playing again on Friday. Is it Thursday or Friday? I can't remember.
I think I'll have a look while you're.
Yeah. 16th, wasn't it? I think it's Friday.
So yeah, whenever we're playing it.
Thursday.
Thursday. I was looking at the lists again, because I was like, right, you do actually have to think about what disposition you want to play, because and the Thousand Suns, for the detachments I want to try, it's either Take and Hold or priority assets. And the next 2 I'm going to do are both the 3DP detachments anyway, so you only get 1 choice.
Yeah.
So Grand Coven is priority assets, which is interesting, because actually where you run Grand Coven, you're more likely to run Magnus. You therefore just don't have many units. So actually running priority assets is going to be quite tough. Whereas with the Rubricai Phalanx, that's Take and Hold. So that might be the that will probably be the one I'll try next. We'll see if it works well. I might give it another go. Otherwise, I might go back to the what's it called, the Hex Warp, whatever it's called. The one I ran was the one that gave me the Flow of Magic and the Sector robots buffs, which worked quite well. It did work fairly well. But yeah, it definitely a lot more concentration needed compared to the Space Marines, which are much more direct and easy to manage from an army point of view.
Do you think that keeping hold of all the secondaries will stay? Because I'm not going to say I've seen lots of games and lots of bits and pieces, but an awful lot of games seem to be very high scoring. Close, but very high scoring. And is that just simply because it's late in the game, people are sort of nearly maxing out, whereas previous edition, you were burning through, you were cycling through, and you either you potentially could get unlucky with your card, or you got
Yeah.
lucky with the card. So do you think that'll stay the entire time, or will they maybe tweak it?
I would imagine there'll probably be some sort of tweak because I think so now the new orders stratagem, you can only do that once per battle. So I don't think I don't think I've played a game yet where that's come up, and I think I've only seen one with all of the battle reports and whatnot that I actually watch. I've only seen that come up once, whereas in 10th edition you would be you know you'd run that strat like once or twice a game at the
Yeah.
very least because you'd be wanting to get other strats out to score. So or other sorry, not other strats, other objectives out to score. So that's been an interesting change from that point of view. I think then holding on to them, I think is it's fine. I do get it. Like it's good because it does even out some of the wonkiness with it evens out the luck of when you draw it. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way. So you can still get the luck of like, right, I've drawn, and thank God I've drawn an action card on my first turn.
Mm.
Amazing. I'm going to score plunder or I'm going to score cleanse. That's exactly what I wanted. And then save all the killy ones for later. It evens that luck out because you're going to get that ability. And I think what it has done is it's created it much easier to score, as you said to your point, it's much easier to score more points. Like in our last game, for example, there were times where John could have scored more of them, but actually opted not to because in the next turn he'd then actually rather than score just the 3 points for it, he'd score the 5 points for it. I don't know. They might even just make a tweak that's more like something along the lines of if you can score a mission, you have to
Mm.
type thing. So that might then force you to be like, you can't hold on to it to try and get your 5 points. If you've completed any part of it, you have to score it, and then you're only going to get like 3 points or whatever. Maybe that's the tweak that they put in. Like if you can score it, you have to score it.
I think that,
Um,
especially the ones for killing or just being in certain parts of the board, as soon as that's done, I think that should be
yeah,
scored and done straight off.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think you should be holding on to it.
yeah.
But
Because I mean, that's like a good example. Engage on all fronts is like you could draw it. You could already be in three table quarters, so you'd score the smaller one, but you'd then hold on to it to be like, well, next turn I'll be in four quarters and then get the big one. And it'd be like, no, no, you've hit the criteria for scoring it. You now just score it.
Mm.
yeah,
And that would probably be a tweak that would actually be quite easy to implement as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
The only time they might have to say is if you've maxed out, then you can keep it because you might get really lucky and then in your third turn score 4 or 5 pointers, but you can only score 15.
But I think that's the what was it? Because they've said that before, right? Like that's it, if you do get to your turn 5 and you've still got loads of cards,
Yeah.
that's that's on you. Like,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean. So you're only going to score 15, even if you score all five of them, you're still only going to score 15.
Yeah.
You should have tried to score them earlier, type
Yeah.
thing. No, but that's
Yeah,
it.
that's
Like
true. True.
that's what it's there for, and that's when you would also use like your new orders or burning secondaries. Because if you're
Yeah.
going into the turn 5, and you've got five secondaries you can score, and they're all fives, then yeah, you've probably caused yourself an issue there anyway. But we will have to see because I agree that I've noticed not necessarily both players scoring big, but certainly one player like me and John have had a couple where they've actually been really close.
Yeah.
But in a lot more of them, you tend to see it like one player gets almost maximum, and then the other player maybe 50.
yeah,
And I think that is partly because of how the scoring is, but also how the 11th game system now kind of works. We were talking about this the other day. It's much harder if you start going behind and your opponent has their, you know, big turns early, so they're scoring 20 to 30 points in a turn in the second or third battle round. it's a lot harder than this edition to catch up. Like it's much harder to find a way to actually catch up and make the score look a bit more respectable. You just don't have those opportunities. So that is definitely something I'm seeing quite a lot of, that it can. Whereas in other editions, maybe even if you knew you were probably going to lose, you'd keep playing to try and, like, get as close as you could. This edition, if you get the whiff or the hint that you're onto a loser, you kind of feel like you are just playing out the motions, because there's not a lot you're going to be able to do.
Yeah.
Which is, I know, and I also know that isn't what GW want, but I don't really know how they're gonna fix it.
They say if you end up 25 points behind, you're allowed to redeploy your whole army.
Yeah.
You just start again.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, and like particularly, I think that's the other thing. It's not. Definitely so far this edition, there's that. It's not Alpha Strike's the wrong term, I suppose, but because that would be a turn one thing. But there is much more of it seems to be geared around that having a big go turn, and almost all so far anyway, almost all of the primary objectives have been around how do you control or kill stuff or whatever, but it's all got to be in that central objective. They're all pushing you to be that central objective. I can't remember what the other detachment is. It's one of like the like one of the dispositions is much more like Eldari, Raven Guard, and like
The recon.
that's it. Recon assets or reconnaissance or whatever it is. I think that's the only one where they don't have lots of stuff that involves you fighting over the center, which is why in I think there was the last big tournament stats that Auspex Tactics looked at, actually a load of the winning lists were taking that disposition, because it's more like 10th, where you had more action stuff across the board rather than you've just got to fight it out over the middle.
The Eldar player who I play regularly now, he's been doing recon, and when you're up against disruption, it's a bit like you scoring points for doing the action and I'm not scoring points for doing the action. That's really so. I don't know if they just don't like people playing disposition because it feels like I can't score. But his thing is surveil the foe. In his turn, one model or one unit within 18 inches can go, there you are, score 5 points. Don't have to engage with them. You just have to be.
What?
It's literally in your shooting phase, pick an enemy unit visible within 18 of one of your units, say, I've surveilled the foe, have 5 points, off you go. And when you've got units of bikes fucking disappearing and appearing behind you, and you've got one, he runs, I can't remember what they're called, they're just one bike. He runs 3 of those, just one bike.
Yeah.
Hide behind everything else. So you can't prioritize this one dude who's popping up and shooting you, because if you waste time trying to do that, you've got 6 bikes that appear out of nowhere and just hose you down. So he's like, yep, he's got the board position and he can run around, and then he's just got some dickhead poking his nose at me on the wall going, I'm going to have 5 points off you, see ya. And then I'm like, okay, what do I have to do? Oh, this unit that I need to do something is going to stand here and have to do an action and survive a turn to get me 4 points. It's outrageous.
So yeah, like what was I going to say? So when they do the surveilling, I take it that's an action and they're also not allowed to shoot?
Yep. But when you've got just one bike there that isn't going to do much anyway,
when
he's also like deep striking it or coming in out of reserve behind enemy lines or engaging all fronts and doing that, you're like, for fuck's sake, I can't shoot all these single bikes because I'm going to dedicate, like, you know what's going to happen. I'm going to put a blight hauler at it. He's going to score his inruns, and then this tank's going to take me out because I was trying to get this little dude. It's very Eldar and sneaky. It's a good one. Like, if you can have it, like, there's no reason why I can't do it with an army. It's just really annoying when you have to work your ass off for a point, and
Yeah.
then it just goes, there you are, 5 points, I'm off.
Yeah, that does feel, yeah, a little bit. Not, I suppose it feels like a bad matchup for that disposition, if that makes sense. Like, as particularly because again, if you made, well, no, I bet even like the old Raven Guard version, because they got all the uppy downy and pop in and
Yeah.
out and all of that sort of stuff. It's still going to be, it's still just one of those armies that you got to try and get a hold of to stop
Yeah.
them doing their stuff.
But
And
yeah.
as the Death Guard, I wouldn't know how you do that. You know what I mean? That's
I
a
just
tough
throw
one.
poxwalkers at him. That's my thing now. Is just throwing poxwalkers at people. The conveyor belt.
Conveyor belt of poxwalkers. Yeah, they. I mean, they. If nothing else, that conveyor belt does stop a lot of deep strike behind.
Yeah.
Like, because there's no space for them. Although, as I said, that is quite interesting with the one bike strategy, because they're also quite small, aren't they? So you can sneak them on.
Yeah.
Like, it's very hard to screen that out.
Yeah. And the base is so small on them as well. Right. It's good. I mean, it's good. And if you know how to build a list around it, and that's what it is, it forces you to make new lists, doesn't it? Because I'm still running the because I don't know if I don't know, I've been on the pod since. So we ran that Death Guard 5-0 list to see how that went, didn't we?
So in that same tournament where that kind of data was from about which dispositions like 5-0 lists were running, I saw a Death Guard list, which I foolishly then suggested to John, you've got the stuff to do that, you should give it a go. And then in the next game out, he completely trounced the Space Wolves, like brutalized them with it.
Yeah, it was a mean list as well, wasn't it?
I mean, it's still a mean list. You've just changed the dispositions a bit.
Yeah, I've just added 30 poxwalkers to it.
Yeah, it was. I think that because the list is like, you've got Mortarion, you've got your Demon Prince, you've got 3 Blight Haulers,
3 Blight Haulers, 3 Death Shroud, 6 Death Shroud, and then a Tallyman and 3 squads of Poxwalkers. That's the list. So it's not a lot there, but with the strats available, like the healing and or explode and all the nasty bits you can do with that, and sticky objectives.
And the Demon Prince getting his mini Morty 5-up, feel no pain.
Yep.
Like that. So running it just that way is nasty in itself. And in that particular battle, it was really like, again, we're both trying to fight over the center. And as we sort of discussed at the time, it really was going to be down to who got their charges off first. And I think in that game, was it 4? Yeah. 9 plus charges you made?
It was a Hail Mary of charges, and they all went off. It was, if you start feeling bad after you pass your 4th one, especially when it's like 6 Terminators.
It was very much a go turn, as it were, and it then just completely that was it. That was the game really at that point, and that was turn 2.
Yeah, but I've kept that list, but now I'm doing the Poxwalker detachment again, and then I've added I think Paragons of Putrescence, which gives all my character units plus 3 contagion.
Yes.
And the build and the way I'm playing it, so I've played 4 games, I've won 2 and I've lost 2. The go turn needs to be turn 2, because essentially I can deep strike. So Typhus is in the list as well, and he's on his own. So I have Typhus and the 2 Death Shroud units in deep strike. Typhus drops in 6. Drops in 8 because that's the new thing. But now his contagion in turn 2 is 9 because he's a character, which means that the Death Shroud can drop straight in front of him because whatever's in front is now in contagion. So they're dropping in 6. So I have to do that everywhere and have a go turn. And in the 2 games I've played where the go turn has paid off, I've won. And in the 2 games where my go turn has failed, so the one against the Knights where all my charges failed, I lost 94-35. The Eldar one, it all went off, 100-68. And then the game I played against you, it was 50-50. Unfortunately, the big Death Shroud failed.
Yes.
I lost by a point. So it's like my go turn in this list. If it works, I'm on the winner. If it don't work, well, I'm on the loser, clearly, because that's what the statistics are saying. But also, Shane cheated and bought an army I wasn't expecting. So there's that too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, although I did, I shared the list and that, like, you were, and if anything, like,
It was Battle Shocks.
but that was what I was going to say, is what happened that was quite interesting is it allowed you to run a different contagion.
Yeah.
Because so far this edition, you've always run what was it, worse than you saved by one?
Yeah.
And I was like, perfect. It could do that against the Thousand Suns because they've all got an invuln save. So whatever, like, doesn't matter. Like, you can do your -1, don't care, invuln save, off we go. And obviously I said that at the beginning, and then John quite rightly was like, oh, maybe I'll run a different one. I was like, oh, shit. So it was you ran the -1, so -1 OC.
Yep.
+1 to leadership checks.
Yep.
And then one that we forgot, which was the -1 movement.
Yeah.
When in Contagion Rage. Now that against the Thousand Suns is really annoying because, again, the Thousand Suns are still really expensive, quite expensive. So you're running lots of minimum size units. The rubrics are good because they've all got 2 OC, so you can get a lot of OC for a small unit on an objective. But you can't against the Death Guard now if they're running their -1 OC.
Yeah.
So that made it really difficult to keep that middle objective in a game where I need to be running sensor sweeps from the middle objective. So that was particularly tough.
Yeah. And that was it, wasn't it? Because you had it turn 1, and I don't think you got it again until
turn. I had it turn 1.
Yeah.
And then turns 2 and 3, you had it and did it, and then in turn 4, I managed to get it back.
Yeah.
Because that was the turn where Morty had died. The Poxwalkers were battle shocked.
Yeah.
I think you still had the Demon Prince on there, but effectively you only had 3 OC on there, and I had 4.
Yeah.
And that was enough to then, because I had the Terminators on there. That was it.
That's it.
The Terminators and the 2 rubrics. And that was enough for that sensor sweep to go off, which then allowed me to take the middle one away and then have one left in my back corner. So it was interesting in that regard, because all of the things that were good about the Thousand Suns was like, yeah, not going to have to worry about this save anymore. But then you did take it away with the OC stuff. And to be honest, the psychic keyword was useful quite a lot of the time, because obviously that ignores modifiers now when you're shooting. So that was quite good. But like, again, Thousand Suns definitely, they are a shooty army, and I can see why 11th is a bit different, a bit more to think about for shooty armies, because a lot of the shooting now in this edition is close ranged, like, or mid-ranged, and whereas in 10th you could probably find a firing lane and like fire, a shot across the board. This edition you can't really do that because there's the terrain rules are stopping you being able to do it, and so it makes it a bit more. Your range is really up to about 24 inches, and that it doesn't tend to be much more than that. But again, all of the missions and things like that I've played so far, it's all been about forcing you into the middle anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But it's interesting so far.
Yeah. Glenn, what are you doing Thursday night?
I'm on call.
Okay. Do you want to be on call from the shed and come and watch? Is that a bit too far?
Depends how my week's going. Potentially. I did consider it, but I don't know if I'll get away with it.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, what we also need now is a moderator, because where John is putting up the TikTok live streams, we're actually now getting comments and questions coming in while we're playing, of which we're paying no attention. So brainwave earlier, when as mentioned, is what I think we should try and do is, so for anyone that is actually listening or watches it later, if you do go and follow the TikTok, John's TikTok, and watch any of them and want to ask questions or comments, if we miss them, which is a very high chance we will, we will then come back and address them in that week's pod.
Yeah.
So I think we could do that now if you wanted to, John. I don't know if you've still got the list of comments that came in.
Have a little dig. I've just got to remember how to get to it, but yeah, I'll find it and we can have a little look at some questions. The only one that I did, I think it was when we were playing, someone obviously commented about unpainted terrain. I can't remember if I said it to you. I might have been playing with someone else.
No, I remember you saying it when we were there, and we didn't really. It was like, yeah, it's unpainted.
Yeah, so rectifying it. So I have the only comment I've noticed. I haven't taken action, and I've been out there spraying today.
I don't. What unpainted terrain did you have?
It's all my collapsible stuffs. Just the brown stuff. I've had a couple of people have mentioned it and saying, someone in the first game was like, I love that I'm not the only one playing with plain brown terrain as well. I was like, yeah, okay. And I suppose if we're going to eventually like put some more cameras in here and do better quality battle reports, it only makes sense that the terrain looks semi-decent, doesn't it? So
bit of a wash. You'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's it. I'm only going to try and make it look the same as that. Which is,
okay.
Which is a bit rusty. I'm not going to go too crazy with it. You might just have to talk amongst yourselves while I remember how to get to the comment section of this, because it's not simple as you would expect.
I've got the screenshot you sent, but I'm assuming that's only a few of them, right?
Yeah, I mean, we can start there while because this is a maze to get to.
Yeah. So what? Okay. What armies are you guys using? Oh, you found it. Well, we'll go with that then.
Cool. So, first question from my friend: can you win 2 days in a row? No, I fucking can't. But it's just like this is the thing. Like people are saying, like, what armies are you using? Because you can see the table to an extent. But I can't have it right up against it because me and Shane are like me tripping over the tripod. So
we'll have to work out how to do that ceiling rig. Yeah,
that's the next thing. And then you get people saying like, who's got the upper hand at the moment? Someone said, I'm just asking what would be the best thing to buy to get into Warhammer. So we're missing like engaging with people like that. So. I mean, I
watched a Instagram on that topic the other day, and I thinking about it, I do agree with it. If you're just getting into it, it's actually you want to buy one of those real simple start sets that comes with like the paint, the clip, a couple of models, and a paintbrush. Because if you can't handle painting that model, putting that model together and painting it, then that's 70% of the hobby, even if you include the time that you have when you're actually playing the game, because most of the time you're building models and painting them to try and get them out. So actually that little kit will tell you quite quickly what part you do or don't like.
That's how I did. I bought the Death Guard versus Ultramarine starter set.
Yeah.
Painted some Imperial Fists, painted some Death Guard, and thought the Death Guard's much easier to paint because it don't look good. And that's just been my motto for the last 5 years. But
you also it was straight out the gate. You went, I'm not going to paint these blue. I'm going to go for yellow, the easiest color to paint.
I didn't know that at the time until I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
So yeah, there's one answer to that question. Don't pick yellow.
I'm of a slightly old school mentality of if you want to get into the hobby, go into a Games Workshop.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether you end up buying stuff in a Games Workshop going forward, probably not, because there's cheaper places to get it. But yeah, go in. They will give you a go at everything. They'll show you how the game works. They will show you how to paint a model. They'll let you build a model. They'll let you have you go at painting your first model, and they'll
Yeah.
talk you through everything. Like regardless of your feelings on the company, it's the best place to start. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They'll advise you on some stuff to buy. They'll probably try and sell you a starter set, which is a couple of £100 once you start sticking in paints and glue and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's the best introduction rather than watching some, like, don't get me wrong, watching some guys talk about it on the internet is a
Yeah.
fantastic way of getting into the hobby. But yeah, if it's a hobby you're going to physically do, go and physically try to do it.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
my, and then, even just have a chat with them about army styles, army, you know, both visually and play style, and then go away and look online at what models you think look cool and go from there.
I think that is a very, very fair way of looking at it. And yeah, you can't forget that because yeah, as you said, despite what you think about Games Workshop, they are pretty good at what they do.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's like basically what we spend all our time doing. Is
Yeah, I was going to say, like, just open my wallet and take my money. But yes, okay, all right, fair enough. Any other, like, obviously we've talked about the armies, Death Guard, Thousand Sons.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going through like an older one, and it's quite funny because it makes you think about like trying to turn your brain off from doing 10th edition stuff. So like there's one here, obviously we were doing some charges and we still do that thing where you're like, well, I'm going to charge.
Yeah, who am I going to charge?
These Death Shroud, I know these Death Shroud need a 7 and they're going to go there. So someone was like, because people were talking in the chat to each other. So I said, do these guys know that they just roll the charge, then declare where they're going? And it's like, we do know that, but you rush, don't you? And you're like,
you get into
what I want is a whatever.
Yeah, I mean, in all of those instances, yeah, we do know it, and in almost all of those instances, it's either like there's only one charge target, so you can just be like, well, I'm only going to charge these people, so yes, I'll measure it up and say I need a 7 to get into them, because even if I roll a 12, there's no one else that I'm going to charge.
Yeah.
So I think that it's a fair point, but like, yeah, we do know. It's because of that temp mindset.
Thinking out loud as well.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is, again, it hasn't come up where if you were rolling like you needed a 7 and you rolled a 4, that actually there was someone within 4 that you could have charged.
Yeah.
Like it just hasn't come up that way for us because of the way the battles have kind of been set. But yeah.
And we the other thing we have done, we make the joke where it's like, so I don't know, the Death Shroud are there, and then there's like two units here, and then you go, we know because like when I'm putting them down, it's obvious that my Terminators are going to go for your Terminators, and then you go right, so you say to me, oh, you're going to need a 7. I go, well, you don't know where I'm going yet.
Yeah.
Then I'll roll the 8 and go, no, I'm going exactly where you know I'm going. I don't have to tell you what I'm doing. Shut up.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, that one's fair. I was going to say the other thing in our last battle, there were a couple of, what's it, 1 or 2 things that we were going to go away and check. And I think it was
the one thing was
it was your Death Guard thing,
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was your Death Guard because it was the leadership thing?
Yeah,
because it was
it's my rule worsens your leadership characteristic by 1.
Yeah,
and then that's that, and then the Death Shroud's icons of whatever do the same thing. So it isn't
that was it. They worsen the characteristic, don't they? Rather than, because we at the time we said if it's worsen and then it's a negative modifier, that does stack.
Yeah.
But if it's and I saw a battle report today and it was the same thing, but it always, I never see it with that. I only ever see it with things like ballistic skill.
So I'm sure that
plunging fire and worsen, that stacks.
I think in the spirit of 11th, where similar things don't stack. I think we're right the way that we played it, because it's 2 rules worded the same, so it shouldn't stack. Whereas if it had been, this is changing your characteristic, and then this is changing your role,
yes,
that would stack. So I think we're right in the way that, although that's annoying, but it's very circumstantial, because it's only with the Death Shroud. It isn't my whole army, so it's still works. It's just that one thing where it's in that one particular list doing that one particular thing, I'm losing out nothing.
Yeah.
Fine. Whereas if it was, no, actually the Death Shroud are going to make it your 6 up Battle Shock and 8 up, that's pretty nasty.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well we'll stay, we'll play it like that for now then, when it comes up, until we hear otherwise.
I mean, if I remember, because I was going to do it after we've played, but I didn't. I'll put it into that Discord and see what they say.
And then was there another? I don't think there was another one after that. Maybe that was it.
No, I think we're pretty much running quite smoothly with these games, aren't we?
Yeah, there was obviously the Tacoma, which I think is ongoing. It might have finished today. The Tacoma tournament in the US, where Games Workshop released a tournament FAQ just for them.
Yes.
Which clears up a few things, but then also changes a few things. So one of the questions that we kind of had during the week that came up was, if you precision a character. So in this example, the Lord of Contagion leads Death Shroud, has an ability, a native ability, that at the end of the phase, if he's killed at the end of the phase, roll a dice. On a 2 to 6, he stands back up.
Yeah.
Now, normally that would be fine, because if he's dead, you've killed the bodyguard anyway. Where it came up is if you've got something that's got precision that then snipes out the leader unit, and they stand back up, but the bodyguard is still alive, when they stand back up, do they stand back up in that unit, or do they stand back up as a separate unit, even though they're attached to begin with? So that was the question.
Yeah.
Now our first take on it before the FAQ was they would stand up back in the unit, because the wording of the rule is I can't remember the exact wording, but the wording would indicate that it kind of feels that would be the way. If the bodyguard is still around, they would stand back up and be part of that unit. That was it. The wording is because there are some things like Gene Stealer cult stuff, where if you kill a unit, effectively you can put another version of that unit in your reserves. So so they're coming back, but they're at the wording of that is that you get another unit of the same type in your reserves. Whereas this one is like that same unit stands back up. So it's not like a new unit, it's the same, like Lord of Contagion. He's just, because of nurgliness, he shrugged off the lethal effects of the attack. So we were like, oh yeah, so if the bodyguard's still alive, he's standing up, he's going to stand back up in that bodyguard. But for the Tacoma thing, actually Games Workshop came out and said, no, if someone gets precisioned out, they don't stand back up in the bodyguard, they stand back up as an entirely separate unit. Now, part of the reason they've done that is because they're actually trying to combat a lot of the stuff that's going on with the Necrons and their resurrection protocols, rather than what's happening with Lords of Contagion and the Death Shroud. So they've kind of fixed one problem and potentially created another one.
Yeah. But that's going to be one of those things that they're probably not going to fix with it, because obviously for the FAQ now, they're not going to fix that in an FAQ, a broad sweeping one. That's going to be wait till your codex comes out and they'll change the wording in there.
I think it has to be, because it will also be like whether they like like the reanimation protocols, like we don't know when the Necron Codex is coming. They might change it for them. So they might rewrite reanimation protocols, because they tend to rewrite it every edition anyway.
Yeah, they do.
so it might change anyway, and especially with a lot of this data, and that's also why they're like, you know what, we're not going to fix it, because when Codex comes out, it's going to be another it's going to be a different rule.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see. We do know I was going to say on that topic of codexes, I think in the Q&A, I think it was, we do know that it's the Space Marine Codex that's coming next, which we all assumed was the case anyway because of the launch box. I don't think it's got a date yet, though, has it?
I don't remember them saying one, because I know they said Orcs for Space Marines. They did say that the date of the actual FAQ as well, didn't they? I think that's going to be
22nd.
22nd. And when's our tournament?
24th.
So that's probably going to take effect, I would have thought.
I think it will be. I think, and it will. It depends whether, because that will be the FAQ. I don't know whether or not they'll have. Yeah, our tournament's 25th, so and then it will be the 22nd. So yeah, I would have thought it would do. The question will be is whether or not there's any, if it's just the FAQ or if there's also a balance pass.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much. Again, I don't know who's smashing tournaments at the minute, because the Tacoma Open's still going, or is about to happen, isn't it, next week?
Yeah. So the top of the thing is Necrons and Thousand Suns.
Oh yeah, no points increases for them then.
Yeah, well, that's I think that's what will happen.
Yeah.
The question will be is like if they do those points increases, that because I don't know, I can't remember when we have to submit our lists for that tournament.
It'll probably be the Thursday, because they're doing one or done one this weekend, and I'm sure on their Facebook it was Thursday submission.
Fine. So it will all depend then, I suppose, on if there are sweeping changes.
Yeah.
Whether they say, yeah, they're like the FAQ will take place, but the points changes won't, or they will. Like we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But then it will depend on whether or not we're turning the app off for updates.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because obviously you have to bear that in mind. But I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah. I tell you what, the one thing we talk about the app that they need to sort out is grouping your events, because there's no option for creating a tournament on there. So you're not like that's the one thing I like with the tabletop battles, where you can have your events all grouped together.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, they don't, do they?
No, and the organised side of me likes having those little groups so I can work out what's what. And if you just got the list, it's going to be really annoying.
Yeah. I mean,
I moved all the games off my phone onto my tablet, which took ages to do. So they're all in one place.
I don't know whether the I wonder whether because they've got a link to there's a link, isn't there, to Best Coast pairings, so you can connect it to Best Coast pairings. I don't know whether it happens that side or it's going to be. It will be interesting to see how it all works together.
Oh, hopefully, because for the most part, I quite like it. You can't go back into it and make any edits, which I don't like.
No, I noticed that because right now I'm still running both apps. So I'm using the official one to log battles mid-battle.
Yeah.
Because it's working quite well. But then afterwards I'm then putting it into my tabletop battles app just to keep it, because then I've got the stats and stuff as well.
Yeah, and that's what I'm meaning to do. But what you can't do is see what detachments or dispositions you're running, which is annoying. You can't go into you can no longer click and get any more information other than the picture to say this person was playing Space Wolves or Black Templars. There's no way, unless I'm missing something, there's no way of going in and getting a bit more information. So you can't go, because at least on like tabletop battles, you can go in and go, oh, he played this detachment on this game and it absolutely smashed me. So this is what I need to look into. So that's just a little thing I noticed when I was playing around with it the other day.
Well, hopefully they keep improving it, and we'll see where it gets to. Right. So yeah, I think we covered a lot there. I don't know if there's anything else you had in mind, John.
No, I don't think so. I'm amazed we managed to get a solid hour out of that. We were a bit dubious going into this. Now that 11th's out, we've got nothing to talk about, but apparently we do.
Well, as I said, still lots of bug fixes and stuff like that. A couple of weeks of that, updates on what we're playing and what we're doing, and then obviously we'll have a tournament to talk about, which will be good or interesting. It's one that obviously I'm keen to get there and try and defend the wooden spoon from last time.
Is this the same tournament that you won the wooden spoon on?
This is the same one, yeah. So
oh dear,
absolutely fantastic that was.
Yeah. So I blame the second battle. My opponent's slow play meant we only got to turn 3, and that hampered my score. Not the first game where I got absolutely trounced and only scored about 17 points. That was the first time ever playing knights competitively, and it was not pleasant.
No, they're nasty things.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right then. So I guess if you are watching this after the fact, follow us on TikTok, and the 16th, evening of the 16th, we'll have a game.
Yeah.
We'll try and answer some questions.
What is the TikTok handle, John? What's your
it's
username?
my same as my Instagram one, so it's Falconite Eddie, because
that's it.
I run 2 Instagrams. I can't bear to run 3 Instagrams. I can't bear to run 2 TikTok accounts. So it all just goes on there. But that's where I put all the clips of the pod and stuff as well. So Falconite Eddie. I'll
go and find that.
Posting it. If you follow us on TikTok and if you follow us on Instagram, you'll be able to find me on TikTok and all that stuff. But that's where we're doing it until I can get more equipment and run it on all the platforms and run better cameras and stuff. We're just doing it off my phone and ignoring your questions.
Yeah, exactly that. So yeah, to be ignored, come and follow along.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Excellent. Well, thank you guys for another evening, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Bye all.
Bye.